When people talk about unforgettable first loves, they always mention me. Ever since I went abroad, every little fling Justin found looked somewhat similar to me, until a little assistant appeared by his side. The assistant felt distressed when he spent nights drunk, and would make him so bring soup. And he even broke his usual pattern and publicly acknowledged that the assistant was his woman. Their love looked like the kind of soul-saving romance you read about in redemption novels. So touching that even I was moved when I heard it. Even my best friend said, "It's over now. Justin is really falling this time. The unforgettable first love is about to become a grain of rice. When you return home, you'll be tortured physically and mentally, becoming part of their little play." I only smiled without speaking. I was indeed going back. But I wasn't going back to join this love triangle. I was going back to introduce someone to my parents. Chapter 1. I didn't announce the news of my return home, yet Justin still found out. I spotted that striking figure in the crowd at a glance. Justin's height and looks were extremely outstanding. Many people were secretly taking photos of him. Young girls blushed just from stealing a glance. I sighed and pushed my suitcase toward him. "Thanks." He didn't say anything, only accepted the luggage with a small smile. We were just as familiar and in sync as before, but we both knew that everything was also completely different now. "Sorry to trouble you today." I laughed awkwardly. "No choice. Your father asked me to bring you home safely. How could I refuse?" Justin didn't look at me. His gaze straight ahead, his tone calm. I nodded. My phone was exploding with messages from my best friend. "Oh my God. He went to pick you up. Today is that assistant's birthday. He actually skipped his girlfriend's birthday to pick you up. You're done for. My dear, he's basically asking others to scold you. People already say you're stringing Justin along, calling you a pretentious coquette. Now it's going to get even worse." I frowned unconsciously. "Justin, give me my suitcase. I'll go back on my own." "No, I promised your dad I'd take you home. I can't go back on my word." As we exited the airport, Justin suddenly added, "I already reported to Ava that I was picking you up. Ava is very generous and sensible. She's not like those little girls who only know how to act jealous. Don't underestimate her." My steps paused. I hummed softly in response. He'd said that much. Refusing further would only make me look pretentious. Not sure what he was thinking, Justin took a deep breath, and his tone suddenly turned stiff. "Selena, you shouldn't have come back. I've already moved on." I frowned. "I have a boyfriend too." Justin didn't show much reaction. When we reached the car parked by the roadside, I went straight to open the back door. After getting in, I realized someone was in the passenger seat. A woman in professional attire turned around and greeted me. "Hi, I'm Ava." I froze for a moment. So this was Justin's new girlfriend. "Nice to meet you. I'm Selena," I responded politely. The car started moving, and the atmosphere suddenly felt a bit stifling. I wondered whether I should find an excuse to get out. After all, today was Ava's birthday. Ava observed me through the rearview mirror and waved generously. "Selena, you don't have to feel awkward. I don't mind. I'm not one of those girls obsessed with competing with other women. I barely have enough time to love myself. Why would I cause trouble for my boyfriend's ex?" As she spoke, she and Justin exchanged a knowing smile. They looked so aboveboard that my earlier thoughts seemed rather petty. My best friend, as if telepathic, sent another message at the perfect moment. Be careful with Ava. If she could stand out among all of Justin's women, her mind must be sharp. I smiled and said nothing. A bit of strategy doesn't count as a flaw. Actually, I admired that type of woman more, as long as she didn't harm my interests. I didn't care what games she and Justin played. I lifted my gaze and happened to meet Ava's eyes through the rearview mirror. She was smiling, but there wasn't a trace of warmth in her eyes. "Selena, Justin and I are going to see a movie later. Do you want to come?" I wouldn't want to intrude. My tone was light. Ava asked again. "Miss Selena, you're really beautiful. No wonder Justin couldn't forget you for so many years." Chapter 2. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Justin turned his head and glanced at Ava, his expression full of indulgence and helplessness. You say you don't mind, but your words don't match your heart." Ava punched him lightly and muttered in a low voice. "I really don't mind. All right. My baby is the most understanding." Don't talk nonsense. Selena might misunderstand me. Ava punched Justin a few more times. Justin only kept smiling. The two in front of me were flirting and teasing each other. I sighed and spoke irritably. You two, don't fool around while driving. It's dangerous. As soon as I said that, the air in the car became a few degrees colder. The smile on Ava's face instantly stiffened. She forced a laugh and said, "Sorry, we got carried away." I couldn't help but laugh. It seemed Justin really didn't give her much sense of security. Justin frowned tightly, wanting to say something, but in the end, he stayed silent. When we got out of the car, Ava cheerfully greeted me. "Selena, since we know each other now, let's add each other as friends." I unlocked my phone, just about to scan her code. Ava suddenly covered her mouth in surprise. "You saved Justin's contact as Justin? Isn't that way too ambiguous? I know you two grew up together, but Justin has a girlfriend now. You should keep your distance. You should save him by his title, President Justin." Huh? I almost thought I heard wrong, and I actually thought she was quite reasonable earlier. Even Justin looked a little embarrassed. "Stop making trouble," Ava pouted, then grinned widely. "I'm joking with you. You didn't take it seriously, did you?" I'm not a slow person. At this point, it was impossible not to notice Ava's hostility and rejection toward me, but I could also understand it. I didn't argue with her. I nodded, pulled my suitcase, and left. Behind me, Justin was still sighing. Ava laughed and joked. "See? Selena isn't as unreasonable as you said. She seems pretty tolerant." That night, after showering, I turned on my computer to review the bidding proposal. A message from my best friend popped up. "Girl, hurry and go watch the drama, check Ava's moments." Curious, I went to look. Ava had posted a photo of her and Justin holding hands, fingers interlocked. The caption read, "I'm willing to trust you, so don't let me down." Below it, the comments were all things like "congrats" and "wishing you two a long love." Almost all of them were Justin's close buddies. She's the one who matches Justin the best, unlike that spoiled princess who leaves whenever she wants. "Justin, you must treat Ava well. Why did a certain someone come back anyway? Don't tell me she's planning to interfere in someone else's relationship." Ava didn't reply to any of them. I attended the welcome home dinner my best friend organized for me. Halfway through the banquet, Justin arrived. Naturally, Ava came too. A group of people exchanged awkward looks. She brought me a gift. It was the perfume I often liked to use. "Do you like it?" Justin recommended it to me. "Look, he really understands you." Many people's expressions changed. My best friend instinctively glanced at Justin and said sharply, "Justin, control your girlfriend." Justin put his arm around Ava's shoulders. "My girlfriend speaks bluntly, but she means no harm. Don't take it to heart." Ava even took the initiative to apologize to me. "Sorry. I'm a straightforward person. I don't understand the petty thoughts of little girls. Don't hold it against me, okay?" My best friend rolled her eyes dramatically. After several rounds of drinks, the group suggested playing games. I had terrible luck and drew a card that said, "Make eye contact with one man present for 3 minutes." Chapter 3. I was thinking about who I should choose for the task. Ava suddenly pushed Justin forward and waved her hand casually. "It's fine. Go ahead. This is Selena's home turf, so I should be the understanding one." As soon as she finished speaking, everyone's eyes fell on Justin and me again. Justin frowned, his body tense and stiff. The way he looked made it seem as if something really existed between us. I rubbed my brow. No need. I had no interest in performing some dramatic love triangle showdown with this crazy couple. But Ava just wouldn't let it go. She came over and took my arm. "Selena, I'm not one of those women who compete with other women. I won't mind. And it's just a game. I'm not that fragile." "Oh." I smiled faintly. She lifted her chin, looking like a self-proclaimed enlightened heroine. "What belongs to me, no one can take. And what doesn't, forcing it is meaningless. You two grew up together. You can't avoid interacting normally just because of me, right?" She sounded so righteous and gracious, looking generous and understanding on the surface, yet clearly implying that I still harbored feelings for Justin. I curved my lips into a light smile. feeling a mischievous amusement rise in my heart. Since you put it that way, I don't need to refuse anymore. As soon as I said that, I clearly felt Ava's hand tightening around mine suddenly stiffen. I sneered inwardly, since you like to play, then I'll play with you. Justin seemed to miss the strange tension entirely. He stood up, speaking helplessly. All right, let's do it. It's just a game. The group started cheering. Justin and I were pushed to the center of the crowd. Justin was tall, I only reached his chin. Just as I was about to stand on tiptoe to meet his gaze at eye level, Justin suddenly bent his legs slightly and leaned down toward me. Warm breath fell onto my face. My pupils trembled slightly. Justin's breathing suddenly grew heavier. He stared at me with such seriousness, even a bit dazed. In that moment, it was as if Justin felt the surrounding cheers slowly fading away. I told you, you don't need to stand on tiptoe. His voice was low and hoarse, carrying a helpless kind of indulgence. In the crowd, Ava's face suddenly turned pale, her lips trembling. Not even 30 seconds had passed before Ava couldn't endure it anymore. She staggered forward with a wine glass, bumping into us. Justin reacted quickly and caught her. Why are you drunk? The game was forced to stop. Ava patted Justin's shoulder with a smile, her tone laced with implication. Did I interrupt something between you and Selena? Don't talk nonsense. It was as if Justin finally snapped back to reality. He stepped back, pulling distance between us. My best friend muttered in my ear. TCH. Can't handle losing but still insists on being ridiculous. The group laughed awkwardly, trying to smooth over the small conflict. After that, Ava seemed much more normal, until the end of the banquet. She didn't pull any more stunts, but what I didn't expect was that she would secretly record the scene from the banquet and post it online. The video was titled, "The First Love My Boyfriend Can't Forget." In the 1-minute clip, Justin and I stood surrounded by the crowd, gazing deeply into each other's eyes, with a sweet, ambiguous romantic tune added over it. The atmosphere in the video became even more suggestive. Ava was already a fairly popular influencer. Combined with the narrative she crafted online about being the strong heroine who redeemed a domineering CEO, she had gathered many loyal fans. Although the video was deleted quickly, it only made netizens even more dissatisfied. WTF WTF, so she's knowingly being the other woman? Damn. I hate when trashy couples use games as an excuse to flirt. This bitch isn't just a habitual side chick, she's a murderer. She escaped abroad only after killing someone back then. Shocking. Is what the person above said real? The bitch is also the daughter of a corporate family. Charge. Chapter 4. My hands and feet turned cold, and my breathing grew rapid. A murderer. Back then, someone did die because of me, and that was also the real reason Justin and I separated. My phone rang at that moment. It was a gentle, magnetic voice. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I'm fine. This is nothing. For anything about you. Nothing is nothing. Everything is important. The person on the other end gently took over my words. Somehow, I suddenly wasn't afraid anymore. In an instant, endless courage surged in my heart. In the office, I had just been about to contact the legal department when the door was pushed open. Ava walked in, her face full of apology. Sorry, Selena. I didn't expect I'd cause you to get attacked online. I was just playing with a meme. You can understand that, right? I didn't expect netizens to attack you. I stared straight at her. You really didn't expect it? Ava choked, glaring at me with grievance and humiliation. Selena, why are you being so aggressive? It's not like you suffered any loss. I know. I'm just a girl from an ordinary family. Nowhere near as noble as you. You looking down on me, I get it. But my love for Justin is nobler than anything. My head buzzed. I realized Ava was quite the drama queen. I had just gotten ready to call security to escort her out when she suddenly reacted as if triggered. She grabbed my hand emotionally. Can't you just stop seducing him? You hurt him so badly, why won't you let him go? Do you know how he survived after you left without a word back then? I pried her hand off. But the moment I removed her hand, Ava's lips curled up, and she suddenly fell backward with the move. I jumped in shock and hurried to grab her. But the moment my hand touched her, her eyes flashed sharply. She dodged my hand. With a loud bang, the fish tank shattered. Ava sat on the floor in a miserable state, with multiple cuts on her arms and calves. It was a startling sight. Justin rushed in at that moment. He crossed the room in a few steps and lifted Ava into his arms. Then he suddenly turned his head toward me, his eyes filled with disappointment and anger. "She's my girlfriend, even if she did something wrong. It's not your place to lay a hand on her. Besides, she was just playing with a meme. Why are you so hurt over it?" I laughed in disbelief. Playing with a meme? Her so-called meme made my company's stock hit limit down, and you want to brush it off as just a joke? Justin let out a laugh. "Selena, you really are obsessed with money." With that, he carried Ava out of my office with large strides. The next day, I looked at the still raging online chaos. Feeling annoyed, to ease my mood, I decided to go shopping. In a luxury boutique, I set my eyes on a bag. Someone beat me to it and said, "This one is nice. Wrap it up for me." It was Ava. She looked at me with a squinting smile. "I really like it, Selena. I hope you can give it up to me. And what if I don't want to?" My expression was blank. The sales associate didn't dare move at all. Ava covered her mouth and laughed. "But you can't win against me. This brand is under Justin's company." She lowered her voice, leaned close to my ear. "Selena, whether it's a bag or a person, you can't win against me. Unforgettable first love? Heh, you're just a grain of rice in the bowl now." I mocked. "Didn't you say you weren't the type who competes with other women?" Ava's pupils trembled slightly, but she didn't answer. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded behind me. "What's going on?" Ava instantly lit up with a bright smile and threw herself toward him. "Justin, why did you take so long?" Justin held her in his arms and shifted his gaze to me. "Selena, are you done yet?" "It's you two who aren't done." A deep, magnetic voice came from not far away. Oliver walked over and placed a hand on my shoulder. "You okay? Did they upset you?" Before I could say anything, Justin's face changed dramatically. He stared fixedly at Oliver's hand on my shoulder. "Who the hell are you?" Oliver raised an eyebrow. "Selena and I are getting married next month. Who do you think I am?" Chapter 5. Justin froze. Even Ava, who loved acting dramatic, widened her eyes and didn't react for a long while. Only then did Justin remember that the first day we met at the airport, I had already told him I had a boyfriend. But back then, he didn't believe me. In Justin's mind, I must have gone abroad out of guilt, unable to face rumors. I must still be in love with him. Impossible. "Selena, how could you be with someone else?" Justin roared. For a moment, many shoppers and staff inside the store turned to look. Ava felt embarrassed and tugged at Justin's sleeve. But Justin seemed completely unaware, only staring at me intensely, as if he wanted to tear apart my false mask. I didn't want to argue with him. I pulled Oliver, ready to leave, but Justin blocked our way. "You're not leaving. Explain yourself." Oliver stepped in front of me. "Sir, as an ex, you should show some dignity and stop pestering her." Ava stepped forward and added mockingly, "Don't worry, Justin, as a woman, I know women best. Selena just hired an actor to play along. She's doing it to provoke you. No one understands these little girls' tricks better than me." At this moment, she spoke as if she were the queen of understanding everything. Justin visibly relaxed. He looked at me with a helpless expression. "Selena, you're being ridiculous." I rolled my eyes at him. Oliver let out a laugh of disbelief. "Mr. Justin, deceiving yourself is pointless. We love each other." Those words instantly shattered Justin's composure. "You pretty boy. Don't go too far." My eyes narrowed. Oliver was the heir of the biggest gaming company in the country, far beyond anything Justin's family business could compare to. I was about to explain, but Oliver seemed to understand and gently patted the back of my hand, a gesture of reassurance. Then he turned to Justin. "Justin, the land on the west side of the city, I was the one who snatched it. I wasn't even interested in that land, but I won't stand by while the woman I love is bullied. I needed to get justice for her." As soon as he said that, Justin's face turned bright red. The West Side Project had been his responsibility all along. Justin's family group had high expectations for him. He had almost closed the deal, until a ruthless, unknown businessman suddenly swooped in and stole it. Because of that, The board had criticized him repeatedly. Ava looked at Oliver with newfound admiration. She had originally assumed Oliver was just a good-looking model, but with this identity added on, his whole presence became magnetic. She couldn't help it. Ava had always worshipped the powerful. Ava spoke with a hint of shyness. Mister, maybe you don't know the woman standing beside you. These years she's been stringing Justin along. She's not someone who behaves. Justin frowned, thinking Ava's words were a bit too much, but he didn't stop her. Oliver's eyes turned ice cold, yet he didn't spare even an extra glance at Ava. Justin, keep your strays under control. Next time won't be so easy. After speaking, Oliver tightened his hold on my hand and turned to the sales associate. Wrap up the bag my wife chose. Only then did the associate react, accepting the black card and respectfully packaging the item. After Oliver and I left, I could still hear Ava complaining behind us. It's all your fault. You insisted on stopping Selena from leaving. I'm so embarrassed. Shut up. I said I like sensible women. You crossed the line. Justin's voice was cold to the extreme. Curious. I turned back to look. Ava's face, upon hearing that sentence, turned absolutely ghastly. Chapter 6. Outside. Oliver still held my hand tightly. He tilted his head slightly toward me. Feeling better? They're not worth ruining my mood. I curved my lips into a small smile. Oliver pinched my cheek, and his tone suddenly became extremely serious. That's right, he's not worth it. Selena, you should be happy. I spaced out for a moment. In my memory, there was once someone who had said the same thing to me. Justin and I grew up playing together, but there was a third person who played with us, Zoe. The three of us had always been inseparable. Our relationship was so close that just one glance was enough to know exactly what the other was thinking. But everything good ended after Justin and I got together. Cracks began to form in our trio. Back then, I was too careless to think much of it. I only thought Zoe was unhappy because I neglected her when Justin and I went on dates. Until one day, I accidentally saw her crying as she confessed her feelings to Justin. I couldn't hold myself back at all and pushed the door open. Zoe, how can you confess to Justin? He's my boyfriend. It was the first time I had ever seen Zoe so panicked. Her face turned pale instantly. She stumbled toward me, explaining frantically. No, I'm not trying to interfere with your relationship. I'm just in so much pain. I just wanted to let Justin know how I feel before I leave. That's all. After saying that, she covered her face in despair and ran out. I hurried after her. At an intersection, a runaway truck suddenly sped toward Zoe and me. At the critical moment, Justin rushed over and pulled me out of the way. Zoe, however, was thrown several meters away. Back then, we were all young, inexperienced in the ways of the world. Justin was terrified. He held me and cried, You're okay, thank God." I stared blankly at Zoe lying in a pool of blood. She didn't lose consciousness immediately. Instead, she looked at the teenage boy and girl tightly embracing each other just a few meters away from her, and whispered softly, "You two must be happy. Be happy." No. When Justin and I rushed over, Zoe was already completely still. Just like that, between Justin and me, lay a bloody life. I was in pain, full of guilt, not knowing how to face Justin. Justin came to my house several times, but I refused to see him. On the day I flew abroad, Justin ran several red lights to get to the airport. It was the first time I ever saw Justin like that. He begged me like a madman. "Don't go. Selena, you said you'd be with me forever. You can't go back on your word." His youthful face was full of despair and breakdown, but I only shook my head. "I'm sorry. I don't want to hear sorry, Selena. Zoe's death was an accident. You can't abandon me because of her." Justin humbled himself to the extreme. In the end, he even knelt down and begged me not to get on the plane. I simply kept a blank face, pried his fingers off one by one, and turned away without looking back. Oliver waved his hand in front of my eyes. "What's wrong?" I shook my head and handed him my phone. "My mom asked me to check if you're free tonight. She made your favorite bone broth. Even if I'm not free, I have to be." Oliver's ears turned slightly red. The afternoon sunlight fell on his face, dazzling like a descending deity. Oliver, thank you, I whispered. During the years when I was in the most pain, the most self-loathing, it was Oliver who made me regain the ability to love myself, who made me realize I wasn't as worthless as I thought. The memory etched deepest in my mind was the time I tried to jump off a cliff. Oliver grabbed my hand. His tears were scorching hot. Please don't give up, okay? He pulled me up, and when he held me, his body trembled uncontrollably. After that, whenever I had dark thoughts, he always appeared at the right moment to comfort me. He would tell me again and again, Selena, you deserve the best. You're amazing. Oliver was like a beam of light, shining into the endless darkness of my world. Chapter 7. The controversy about the unforgettable first love at the welcome banquet was still raging online. On the day of our company's new product launch, I took the opportunity to post the full, unedited video online. My best friend clicked her tongue in amazement. Damn, you really can hold back. You waited until today to post it. Was it to promote your new product? I didn't deny it. After watching the unedited video, netizens' attitudes changed immediately. So Ava was the one who started the mess? LMAO. Selena refused from the beginning, but Ava just had to pretend to be generous. Yet when things happened, she got upset. I'm dying. She kept saying she wasn't competing with other women, but turns out she's a full-on drama queen? Ava is such a clown. The backlash hit hard. Ava's social media pages were flooded with curses. Occasionally, a few loyal fans at Justin, asking him to stand up for his girlfriend, but Justin acted like he was dead, not a single word or movement. I was surprised, but didn't think much of it. I thought the farce had finally ended. But a few days later, Ava's counterattack arrived. Early the next morning, Ava's clarification shot to the top of the trending list. Ava started a live stream. On camera, her arms and calves were wrapped with thick bandages. I frowned. A few days ago when I saw her, she was almost fully healed. She did get injured that day, but they were just superficial wounds. Justin took her seriously enough. He hired the best medical team for her, worried she might be sad if she's scarred. I instantly knew what she was planning. Sure enough, she sat in front of the camera with red-rimmed eyes. Her eyes were full of tears, but she stubbornly refused to let them fall. Hello everyone. I'm Ava. I know many people have misunderstood me recently. As for the game at the welcome banquet, I truly thought it was just a game. I didn't take it seriously. And later, I just thought the game was fun, and remembered the meme about the unforgettable first love. So I made a playful post online. At that point, she paused, and tears finally fell. I didn't expect everything to turn into this. She looked especially guilty and helpless. The livestream chat soon filled with comments like everyone makes mistakes and poor girl. Ava suddenly stood up and bowed toward the camera. I'm sorry, Selena. I admit I was wrong. I'm just a normal person. Please let me go. That movement exposed all her wounds. Many viewers immediately started asking why she was injured. At first, she avoided answering, looking ashamed and hesitant. Finally, she gathered the courage and sobbed as she spoke. After what happened at the banquet, I felt really guilty. So I went to Selena's company to apologize. But Selena, she didn't accept it at all. She got angry and pushed me into the fish tank. At that point, Ava looked terrified. Her shoulders shrank as she cried so hard she couldn't breathe. Before ending the live stream, she even added, "But it's okay. I don't blame Selena. She was just in a bad mood that day. She probably didn't mean it." The public opinion flipped again. Many people changed sides. Actually, from this angle, Miss Selena does seem a bit aggressive. True, Ava did say things she shouldn't have at the banquet, but it wasn't unforgivable. Selena keeps entangling herself with Justin. She really has that pretentious coquette face. Even if Ava was wrong, Selena shouldn't have pushed her into the fish tank. What if something worse happened? Maybe Ava really just thought that video was funny. Pretentious meme girls do like playing with memes. Chapter 8. My best friend was furious when she saw it. This Ava is way too good at acting. Why doesn't she go become an actress? I looked at the computer screen. The rising purchase curve of the company's new product reflected on it, and the corner of my lips lifted slightly. Perhaps I should even thank Ava. Without her free publicity, the new product wouldn't have become known so quickly. Oliver called. Selena, need my help? No. I can handle this. The heir of my family's company is not a helpless little leech. I answered firmly. After hanging up, my best friend teased with a grin. Oh, someone is really in love. Huh? It's true. The words slipped out of my mouth. My best friend immediately stopped smiling, replaced by a gentle relief. Looks like you've finally moved on. I simply smiled without responding. I reported the incident to the police. Not long after leaving the police station, I ran into Justin at an intersection. I teased with a smile. What? Coming to ask me to spare her? He didn't answer. In the light drizzle, he took a deep breath, his eyes bloodshot. Are you really going to marry Oliver? Yes. I didn't hesitate at all. Justin took a step forward, his tall silhouette engulfing me. Under the dim streetlight, his expression flickered in and out of shadow. Why? Why on earth? How can you give up on me? I didn't speak, just looked at him. Justin seemed driven mad by my silence, shouting, because of Zoe? What did I do wrong? Why did you leave me because of her death? I lowered my gaze. Perhaps neither of us was wrong. We were simply no longer suitable. Seeing me silent, Justin broke even further. Selena, you can't be this cruel to me. What's so good about Oliver? Do you love him? You don't love him. You're marrying him just to get back at me. To spite me. He spoke anxiously. The light rain fell onto his head, dripping down the messy strands on his forehead. Under the streetlight, his face looked even paler. I shook my head and answered seriously. You know me. I only choose to be with someone because I love him. You're lying. You. His trembling voice suddenly choked. His throat moved, but no words came out. His slightly trembling shoulders exposed the pain he was desperately trying to suppress. I slowly raised my eyes. Justin, you're blaming me too, aren't you? I paused before continuing. I heard it that day. It was at Zoe's funeral. I hid behind a wall and heard Justin's suppressed sobs. It's Selena who killed Zoe. She's a murderer. Zoe was sensitive and fragile. Selena knew that. Why did she expose her? Why couldn't she just pretend nothing happened? Those words made me truly decide to study abroad. During countless nights overseas, I had thoughts of ending my life more than once. I was in too much pain. Living while bearing someone's death was unbearable. Justin froze. You heard. What? I looked straight into his eyes. You said I was a murderer. Justin staggered back, the color draining from his face. He tried to speak, but not a single word came out. Rain slid down his hair onto his cheeks, making it impossible to tell whether it was rain or tears. As I turned to leave, I heard behind me the sound of his stifled sobbing, like a lost child with no home to return to, left only with helplessness and regret. Chapter 9. The company's legal department acted quickly and launched an immediate investigation into Ava's defamation case. Ava thought she had avoided the blind spot of the surveillance cameras, but my office had plenty of hidden cameras. The footage clearly recorded the entire process of her deliberately falling backward, how she dodged my outstretched hand, and even the triumphant glint in her eyes when she fell was captured perfectly. The evidence chain I submitted was complete, leaving Ava completely terrified. That day, I was on the phone with Oliver, discussing the details of our wedding. Someone stumbled into my office. It was Ava. Her hair was messy, her face full of panic and helplessness. Selena, I'm begging you, please withdraw the lawsuit. Okay? I can't go to jail. I'm still so young. I know I was wrong. I won't dare do it again. I hung up the call and looked at her calmly. You're not remorseful. You're just scared. Ava bit her lip, unwillingness flickering in her eyes. Yes, I made terrible mistakes. But Selena, are you completely blameless? Before you came back, Justin treated me so well all these years. He had countless women around him, yet I was the only one he ever acknowledged as his girlfriend. I was so close to succeeding. Why did you have to come back? She screamed in pain. Everyone thought she was with Justin for the money. Ava didn't deny that part. But most importantly, she believed she loved Justin. Selena, who do you think you are to act so high and mighty? It was you who abandoned Justin and left. You hurt him first. I felt sorry for him and wanted to help him get over you. Is that wrong? But he loves you so much. And you. I stared at Ava's tear-streaked face in surprise. So this girl was actually a full-blown love brain? I sighed and cut her off. Love me? When he was fooling around with all those women, did he remember he loved me? I went abroad. I didn't die. If he really loved me, why didn't he come find me? Ava widened her eyes, stunned, as if something she had held firmly in her heart finally cracked. She couldn't even explain what she was feeling. She fled in a panic. Since the case wasn't considered severe, Ava was sentenced to 2 years probation, and she had to publicly clarify the truth and apologize to me. Public opinion exploded once again. I'm numb. This story keeps flipping. By the way, did Justin break up with Ava? Things got so big and he never spoke up. Shoo. My friend said Justin only loves his unforgettable first love. Justin did break up with Ava, but this time, he was the one dumped. Ava didn't forget to leave a dramatic post online. I'm done with you, Justin. I once thought that as long as you loved me, I could give you everything. But last night you told me you don't love me? I may be a love brain, but I'm not pathetic. I've regained my freedom. And as for Selena not loving you, you deserve it. Goodbye. You fake, deeply devoted scumbag. The post shot to the top of the trending charts. Justin suddenly earned the nickname Mr. Deeply Devoted. The internet was filled with jokes mocking him. My best friend treated it as comedy and told me all about it. I simply laughed it off. A few days later, I went to the cemetery alone. Zoe was still just as youthful as before, and I had already had my edges worn down by life. That day, I talked to her for a long time. Zoe, you'd be happy for me, right? A soft breeze blew past, as if she was answering me. Chapter 10. As the sky gradually darkened, Justin arrived. He looked exhausted, his eyes bloodshot, as if he had stayed awake for several nights. He was holding a bouquet of flowers in his arms, staring at the photo on the tombstone. Tears fell from his eyes. She would. He said softly, Selena, you were Zoe's best friend. My eyes reddened uncontrollably. When I turned to leave, Justin grabbed my wrist. So there really isn't any chance left? As he spoke, he hugged me tightly from behind. I tried to break free, but couldn't. I could only let him hold me. Justin buried his head in the crook of my neck, his burning tears soaking my hair. Do you think I'm dirty? Is that it? No. I never loved them. I was just in too much pain, and I didn't dare go find you. But the closer I got to those substitutes, the more it hurt, the clearer it became to me that you had truly left me. I stood there, unmoved. It's over, Justin. After saying that, I pushed his hands away. This time, I didn't even use much strength, and it worked. Without looking back, I walked away. Oliver was waiting for me by the roadside. I jogged over and held onto his arm. Let's go home. Okay. Oliver and I got married. The night before the wedding, I dreamed of Zoe. She hugged me gently. Congrats, girl. I'm really happy for you. After saying that, her figure dissolved into starlight and disappeared into the world. When I woke up, my pillow was soaked with tears. On the day of the wedding, Justin came. Everyone thought he would cause trouble, but he simply gave me a wedding gift and left. Perhaps after this, he would finally be able to let go completely. I held Oliver's hand tightly and walked into the wedding hall. Justin's extra story. He had secretly gone to look for Selena before, but never had the courage to speak to her. Oliver treated Selena very well and never gave Justin even the slightest chance to exploit a vulnerable moment. The two of them even had a lovely child, a family of 3. Very happy. His friends all advised Justin to let go. Justin knew very clearly that there was no longer any possibility between him and Selena. Yet he still couldn't let her go. Many years later, he was still alone. In the quiet moments of midnight, he had asked himself more than once if, back then, when he first noticed Zoe's feelings, he had been brave enough to reject her early, instead of dragging things out until all 3 of them suffered. Would he have not lost Selena? Would Zoe not have died? Only at that time did he finally understand how selfish he had been. Back then, he enjoyed being admired by 2 girls. intoxicated by the attention. After Zoe died, Justin was terrified that Selena would see through the ugliness of his soul. So in front of others, he called Selena a murderer, trying to drag her down with him. He naively believed that two people burdened with guilt would be tied together forever. But he forgot. Selena had always been a proud girl. She would never again love a Justin who was so despicable and cowardly. Later, Justin never married for the rest of his life. He became a pitiful man who spent his entire remaining life watching Selena's happiness from afar.